We have the fabulous Jennifer Moore of Clutches and More joining us today. Jennifer, let's start this off by you telling us how you started your brand Clutches and More.
I was playing in my closet one day and I was on FaceTime with a friend and she just looked at me and said, Jen, what are you doing? Like, what do you mean? I was sitting there like cleaning a bag or refurbishing or doing something to it. And that's how it kind of started.
Every bag is a designer bag. Tell us about that.
I enjoy studying the history behind bags and kind of like what made this brand design a handbag. Someone had to manufacture it. This is just my philosophy. I don't believe the name is just what makes it a designer. Someone had to actually put the pieces together. So I tell everyone that when they say, oh, where did you get that bag? I'm like, oh, my designer made it for me. Luxury is what you make it.
So how do you go about finding a bag?
I actually source from everywhere. Some are from my own personal collection. Some are from friends. Some are from, places that I've researched and studied. I kind of do one and dones, do a whole collection of pieces. So the bag that you get is yours. You may find out in the world that someone may have something similar, maybe a similar color, but I don't do like a whole assortment of the same style or brand of bag.
I mean, once you find the bag, do you personalize it at all?
I don't do that. So I do several, like, I'll tell you this. Some of my favorite brands are Coach, B. Makowski, Elliott Luca, those type things. Those are just a few of the brands that I do have or have on inventory. Like, it totally ranges. Rebecca Minkoff. So I don't necessarily brand them myself. I do refurbish them. I do clean them up. I do make them look new. I do make them presentable. And I tell people all the time, I'm not going to provide you with anything that I wouldn't provide myself.
Where do you sell your bags?
Right now I'm online and I do pop-ups.
Okay, and where can people find you online?
It's my Instagram, clutches_more. But if you follow my personal page, more love 0515.
Like if somebody had a bag and they want you to refurbish it, do you offer that service as well, or do you just do the ones that you find?
So that is actually a service that I'm looking into starting. I don't do it necessarily for the public just yet. I do it for my friends.
Like if you can go back when you started, what would you tell yourself?
I would say do it. Like, what took you so long? You know what I mean? Like, because sometimes people say, well, do things scared, but I don't think you necessarily have to be scared. I think you just have to do it. Everything is about trial and error, and then you have fun with it. The same friend that asked me, what are you doing, was the same friend that told me that, Jen, if it no longer is fun for you, then you may want to reconsider it.
So if someone wanted to do the same thing that you're doing, how would you tell them to get started?
What is it that you want to do? Is this a business or is it a hobby? Is this something that you really want to invest in?
Now, you talked about your bag history. So are there any movies or books that you particularly love?
Movies in particular, I do like The Devil Wears Prada. I actually have that on repeat sometimes. I do like watching Emily in Paris. And then I actually go back sometimes and watch the shows that we grew up on, like A Different World.
I wanted to find out what your style is.
I love Pinterest. Pinterest is a big space for me to just kind of see not just what the magazines and the fashion are doing, but to also see where people are just placing themselves. If I see a handbag, I'll try to Google Lens it and kind of find the locale of where that person was, not to be weird or anything, but just to say, okay, wow, like you were styling this bag. This is where you were when you were rocking it. So to me, again, that's a part of the story.
Now that you're doing reclaimed bags and stuff like that, do you plan on expanding? I mean, what's next for you?
I do want to figure out how to really, in a sense, educate people about the handbags themselves and the brands, and not just, okay, this is, some people say, oh, it's just another bag, and that's fine. I get it. Handbags are not everybody's forte, right? But if it is your forte, let's help you learn a little bit more about what you're paying.
Have you ever thought about like designing your own bags?
Yes, I definitely have. And I'm like, how, could that happen? And I know it can. I just have to, really sit and put myself into it.
Somebody was asking, what is the big deal about a Birkin Kelly bag? And I was like, wow, people really don't know where that bag came from and why it's such an exclusive bag.
What's the history behind it?
The Kelly bag was created for Grace Kelly, and it was supposed to be an exclusive for Grace Kelly, and it's a crocodile bag, like authentic crocodile bag, and it has 14 karat gold accents, and it's handcrafted, and it takes about 18 months to make one of these bags, and that's where the price tag comes in, because they start at about $20,000, which is why I always crack up when people think they can get a prom dress for $250, like a custom anything for like $200. So I'm like, that's not happening. Do you know how to cut lace?
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that though, Naomi, because one of the things that I wanted to go back to one of the questions that was asked, it was like, what made you, start this and what made you want to kind of stay with it and tell your younger self? I would also tell my younger self too that everybody has a value link. It's something I had to learn and it's actually something I started to read about because I'm like, well, why is it that people don't understand when I'm charged, like to your point, Naomi, I'm charging this price and they're like trying to wheel and deal. And yes, I know it's a secondhand bag. I know that, it may not be brand new, but it's new to you. And if you really knew the value of this bag, would you ask me that?
And people have to appreciate it in order to pay for it. I am Zahia from Region Design Lab and Cover Me Chic.
I'm Letitia Winston of Keeping You in Stitches and
Ema Dozier from Fearless Threads and our special guest, Jennifer Moore from Clutches and More. And we'll see you all next time.